Hey guys, welcome to Herding Little Cows to the Glory of God. You always see us making funny faces. Well, you
No,
see
you
us
don't see
laughing
it.
because I make funny faces before he turns the camera on.
She does. And so do I sometimes.
So anyway,
And stuff like that. Yeah.
tonight's video,
It's serious.
Yes.
This is serious business.
we are herding little cows to the glory of God, if I didn't just say that. I'm
She's
Sarah.
I'm Mark.
This is baby Elisha.
That's
And he is number 10 of 10. Number 10 of 10. 8 of them living in the house.
7 boys, 3 girls.
And so, as I said, there's 8 of them living in the house, so 2 of them are gone.
Yes.
We have
Grandbabies.
grandbabies. We do have grandbabies.
I have grandbabies.
But we're trying to figure out what our grandbaby Justice is going to call us.
Yes.
So, our daughter Virginia, if you've seen on this channel before, she's 21. She just had a baby, and he isn't calling us anything yet because he's just a couple days old. But we want to know what he's going to call us. And so we were talking about what we called our grandparents, and we don't want old fuddy-duddy names.
I'm already a fuddy-duddy of sorts.
He doesn't need a name to
Yeah.
verify that.
I don't need a name to make that any worse. Thank you for coming closer to the frame. Here, I'll
You're
duck
welcome.
behind you.
So you look small.
Yes, I look small back here, don't I?
Okay.
Oh, I like it.
So anyway,
Sorry.
so we want people, so we're doing this, we're filming this tonight, but we're going to set it as a premiere tomorrow night so that we can talk to you guys while we're doing the video. And now, oh, Naomi's writing to us. Okay.
So live videos, we've tried to do live videos, but if we're doing a live video and there's anything on the screen, if y'all are commenting, which are a great thing to do, I can't concentrate on anything.
Mark
Or
gets
I
very
totally
confused.
miss that there are comments, and I get very confused by those things. So
And also,
we're going to record this, and then we'll premiere it where we can actually sit in front of a computer or our phones and actually interact with people,
Right.
which would be even more fun.
and also, for those who have not been watching our channel before, our son Josiah, who's 12, has seizures, and he, it's very, very hot today, and he's more likely to have a seizure as he goes to bed, which is now. So, anyway, now the girls are writing back and forth. So we have that's what's coming up on our screen that we keep seeing. So we have a 21-year-old who just had a baby, and the 17-year-old who lives here at home is writing to her while we make this video. So now it's coming up and down on the screen.
Right.
Anyway.
Sorry. I kind of have to learn how to shut off notifications on my phone.
So we wanted to know what people called their grandparents or cool names that they picked for themselves for grandparents. We have been looking at different cultures and what they call, there's a couple that are cute, but we haven't.
Babushka?
And Dadushka.
Dadushka.
Babushka and Dadushka. I think that's cute.
Abuelo and abuela?
Yeah, or abuelito and abuelita.
Okay.
That's like little grandmother and little grandfather. It's like an endearing term.
I'm not little.
No, you're not. But
I'm
it's
about
like an
as the
endearing.
opposite of little as you could get.
And Nani and Nana was in one culture, being
Okay.
Nana being the grandpa. Hi, what do you need?
One of them was Lola, which is my grandmother's
Lola and
name.
Lolo.
Lola, Virginia. Hey,
Lola
there's
for
short
the
people
girl
here.
and Lolo for the man. You may play with just that.
Yep.
Okay?
Go ahead.
And yes, what do you need? Oh, don't drive over the puzzle. Okay, so that little one that came
This
in
is
on,
a real world channel.
the little one that came over on this side,
Yep.
hi, is 2.
Yep.
And he's learning to sleep in the big kids' room, which is fun. Last night was his first night, but he hasn't learned that in the evening he's supposed to stay in there and play and not run over everyone else's stuff they're doing. So anyway,
He's learning. It's new.
so for us, I had my dad's parents were divorced before I knew them. And so I had Grandma Allen, who was always single. We called her Grandma Allen. And my Grandpa Allen, and he, this was years. I'm not saying he was had lots of girlfriends. But
So that was their
we would-
last name, Allen.
Yes,
is their
Allen was the last name. So we would say Grandpa Allen, and Betty was one. I mean, she was around for years. I'm not saying he was
Yeah, I
with a
remember-
different girl every
Betty,
week
yeah.
or anything. But we never called her Grandma. She was always Betty. She was
Yep.
just, the other person was just by the name.
So
the
that's
first
your
name.
dad's side.
That's my dad's side. And then on my mom's side, it was Grandma and Grandpa Nicewander. They were always married. And when I was referring to them, like at home, I'd be like, oh, Grandma Nicewander sent me this.
Right.
But for 2 weeks every summer, I stayed with them, and then I just called them Grandma and Grandpa while we were there, because I didn't have to differentiate between them.
Like
and
unless you were going up to Toledo to see Grandma Allen, you wouldn't have any reason to differentiate.
Right. And so what did you call your grandparents?
Okay, so see, whenever we dig up family history, all kinds of things come up. So my father's parents divorced when my father was I think fairly young, maybe adult, maybe not.
So part of talking about all this stuff is Mark does not have much of a memory, so things might be out of timeline here.
It's also evening, so Mom and Dad, you can correct me, or Laverne's probably watching this, and Angela might be watching it, so you can correct me if you need to. What was I talking about? So my father's parents had been married, had 4 children, divorced at some point along the way. So I knew Grampy Cowperthwaite, that's our last name, and Grammy Haley because she had remarried Frank Haley. But I think we mostly called him Frank, but we may have called him Grampy Haley. Again, my family can tell me what I said wrong there. But so that's on Dad's side. So we had Grampy Cowperthwaite, Grammy Haley, and Frankie, or maybe Grampy Haley? I'm not sure, because that was their last name, Haley. Anyhow, and then on my mother's side, my mother's parents were married until her mom died when Mom was 8 or 10.
10, I think she was 10.
8 or 10 years old. No, I think she was 8. I think it was 1955. So anyhow, when she was a very young girl, her mother passed away, and she was one of 7 original children, and then her father remarried at some point later a lady who had 4 children of her own, and I think her husband passed away, I'm not sure. And then the 2 of them married and had 5 more children, so it's a total of 16, his, hers, and theirs. So I have lots of aunts and uncles and cousins on my mother's side. So anyway, her dad, I believe we called Grampy Sargent, because that's their last name. And we always called her Nan, but her name was Natalie, and she went by Nan to everybody. That wasn't, I think it's actually just short for Natalie. So I think we just called her by her first name. So I say it because a lot of people said, oh, we called our grandparents Grandpa Frank or whatever, like their first name. So for me, it was always the last name.
It was always last name for me too.
And you too, okay. Yeah.
And so then our kids call his parents sorry, go ahead.
My mother, they call Mammy. So my parents also divorced many years ago, 30 years ago.
And Mammy was started by one of the other...
Well, I think it was Jessica, but now Jessica calls her Grammy, so I could be wrong on this entire thing of where Mammy came from. It could have been Nathaniel.
I always thought that Mammy was because of Jessica. But
it could have been
Angela,
Nathaniel.
let us know.
Could have been me. Could have been... who knows? Anyway.
They call her Mammy.
They call my mother Mammy, and they call my father Grampy. I don't think they generally refer to Grampy Cowperthwaite because they have...
He's the only Grampy.
He's the only Grampy there is. And his wife is... Her name is Belinda, but she's been known as Bump her entire life. She's 81 years old. She's been Bump for a good 75 of those years. So we just call her Bump.
And sometimes we have some kids that call them Grumpy and Bumpy.
Grumpy and Bumpy. And Bumpy bumps down the stairs.
And Bumpy bumps down the stairs. Yeah. Because we had a very scary time when Uncle Bruce was renting a cabin.
Yep.
And Bump needed the railing to go up the stairs.
Broke off.
It broke off while she was walking up, and luckily we kept her from bumping down the stairs. But that's what started the bumpy
Josiah was a
down
baby
the stairs.
when that happened.
He was.
That
was when Laverne was there.
Laverne was there, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
You were there.
So Aunt Laverne has started watching our videos recently, and she doesn't get to come to Maine every summer, but that summer she got to come.
Yes.
And Miss Faye came.
Yes, your mom came. It was that same summer, right?
I think so.
It was the same cabin up in Franklin.
I think so, yeah.
Anyway.
Okay.
Well, we're talking about all his family history.
All of that.
Because what do they call Bruce and Laverne? Because they have grandkids too. I was just thinking Bruce and Laverne.
She told me, but now I forget because so many people have told me what they do.
Comments. When we do the premiere thing, we can actually talk to you.
Okay, so then for my family, my mom and dad were married, and so my kids always just called them Grandma and Grandpa.
Yep.
Grandpa, my dad, passed away 10 years ago. So the little kids never called him, like
They
never knew him.
But they still call him Grandpa.
They still call him Grandpa. If they see a picture of him or something, they'll say, oh, that's Grandpa. But they call my mom Grandma. She lives in the backyard. Mark and I both call her Grandma.
Yeah.
Very rarely call her Mom.
Or Mom. My name is Daddy. My name ceased being Mark about 25 years ago or 30 years ago.
Yeah. So we just call her Grandma, and because we don't have a different grandma, we
because my mom is Maine.
we don't have to differentiate.
And
So that's how we do it. And Grandma will sometimes call herself Gma, like when she's writing
Like
a letter or whatever. G Mom.
Ma.
But my mom has lots of different names from just different people. Like she's Mama K to a bunch of my sister's friends and stuff like that. So Gma was one of the ones that had come up. But we call her Grandma. So.
And your grandparents used to sign like Christmas cards, stuff like that. GG.
Well, they'd
like
say Mom,
great-grandma.
Dad,
Yeah.
Gma and Gpa,
Yeah.
and Great
GG, whatever it was. Yeah, GG
however,
and GG Bob.
they would sign like a card to our family with all the names in it for whoever called.
Because we have multiple generations. So, I mean, we have pictures of Virginia, who now has a baby, but she didn't have a baby then. When Virginia was little, a picture of Virginia and Sarah, her mom, and Kay, her mom, and Joanne, her mom. So Sarah's grandmother, Virginia's great grandmother, all in this picture together. And we spent a lot of things together. We've taken a lot of pictures together over
and
years.
I think we have a picture somewhere of me as a younger child with my mom, with her mom, who that was my great grandma, who I actually knew, and I called her Nana.
Right.
That was Nana, and that's all I ever knew her as was Nana. And so Nana was married to Oliver. Like that's what we called them, is Nana and Oliver. And so they got married sometime before my mom remembers time. My mom was born in 60. So before my mom remembers calling 1960.
Sorry.
Before my mom remembers Nana being single, like she always knew
she was
always married
Nana
to
and
Oliver.
Yeah.
But they married sometime shortly before my mom was remembering things.
Because they were both widowed, right?
They were both widowed, and so my Nana had been single for a long time. She got married in like her 60s.
Wow. Yeah.
Maybe late 50s. But.
Are they the ones that carved the birds that we have?
Yes.
The bird carvers. We have some cool birds out in the living room. You might have seen them on the top shelf on the big. Oh, anyway, you probably didn't.
And did you know any of your great grandparents?
I don't believe any of my great grandparents were alive even when I was born. Like,
yeah, I didn't know. This was the only great grandparent I knew.
My mother's mother passed away before I was ever born. I mean, when Mom was young. We don't have to go through the whole story again. Sorry. I don't know how far I've gone with the story because I've forgotten now what I was talking about.
So anyway, so we want to know what people are called by their grandparents.
What should our grandchildren be instructed to call us?
Right.
What do we pick? Give us all kinds of ideas.
So we don't mind being something with the last name,
right?
But we also know what's been picked by the other grandparents, because the other grandparents have grandchildren that have already started a certain name that is going to be in close proximity to Justice.
Right.
I don't.
Yeah, he's got 6 or 7 cousins that
live right there.
They work together, and they're nearby, and they see their grandparents regularly.
I don't
and that
think
kind of thing.
a
So
set
the
of
name's
grandparents necessarily have to be the same to all the grandkids, but I think if the grandchildren are all going to be together regularly, it's going to get really confusing if they call them different names.
Who's Pop? Who's who's Grandpa? Who's Grandpa? Yeah. So, there's another unique one.
Grandpa.
Grana and Grandpa. We know some people named Grana and Grandpa for their grandkids. So, what are some of the fun ones? What was the one you suggested?
Someone suggested that we were Lolly and Pops. I liked that one. And the Lola and Lolo was fun because we have a friend who's Lola.
And actually, my grandmother, who passed away when my mom was young, was named Lola.
Lola
Virginia. And now our daughter Virginia was named after her.
So that would be a fun one.
Yep. We really like names in this family. So I was thinking about this around dinner time. Okay, so I'm open to suggestions, but we have named everybody in our family so far, and we're obviously not going to name our grandchildren. That's their parents' job. But we're really into names, and we like names. And all of our kids' names, now I know we refer to one of them as Bob. I actually refer to some of them as Bob at times. But generally, we wish for them to be called by their full name.
Right. We don't typically do
Nathaniel,
nicknames.
Virginia, Naomi, Samuel. Not Sam, it's not Sammy, it's Samuel. That's his name. So anyhow, I'm a little picky about that stuff. And so I said, I should just be called grandfather, and she should be grandmother. Yes. She didn't like
grandmother. That. Can I please have a drink?
Do you have to be
Sounds
like
a little
British or formal or something in order to?
We love British accents. We can't do British accents.
No, I can't. I wish I could.
Anyway, there was another suggestion for Mark. Would be
tatai.
Tatai, which I guess is father in Tagalog. Mark was affectionately called that by a friend of ours.
Right.
And so we were joking that that would be it, but I don't know what grandmother name would go with Tatai.
I don't know.
Because I think Tatai means father, not grandfather, but where we can make up our own unique twist on it since we don't actually speak Tagalog. So what would go with that?
Yeah, so we might see our friend Hip from Cambodia
We need to write to him.
in the next couple of weeks. Hopefully we'll be able to catch up with him while he's in the area. They're missionaries in Cambodia, but he's actually from there. But over there, they call her, like Jenny, everybody calls her mom, right?
Yeah.
Like everybody on earth
like
calls her mom.
the name mom over there, but I don't know what that
Yeah,
is.
right. So anyway, those kind of things. We should ask other cultures around the world and
Well, we have one friend. Oh,
Go
sorry.
ahead. I was going to say you have a special Montana request in here somewhere.
Oh.
Special request.
Okay, so if you're watching this video and you're from Montana, could you please reach out to us? Because Malachi, the one we refer to as Bob, he's 4. He is very, very into geography, and for some reason, he loves Montana. He made a picture today. We were doing something for school, and I had them all draw pictures. And I said, "Who's your picture for?" Because a lot of times they give them to someone at church or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, "For someone who lives in Montana." And I said, "Oh, who in Montana?" And he said, everyone that lives in Montana.
That's Bob.
So if you live in Montana, could you reach out to us? Because maybe you could send us a postcard or something. Because he just, for some reason, loves Montana. I was joking tonight
Our
that
address is in the
maybe
thing.
his future wife is going to be from Montana.
Well, so we did actually joke about Virginia's future husband being from Montana when, what was his name? Joe Schmo from Montana?
Joe Schmo from Montana. But that wasn't
He was a
fair.
fictional character. Yes.
He was kind of a fictional character because I had knowledge that Virginia didn't have. So when we were talking about this fictional future husband, I already thought Wayland was on the list.
Mm-hmm.
He was the only guy on the list.
He was the list.
And he used to live in Montana.
Yes.
Joe Schmo from Montana was not enough to give away that it was Wayland, but it was enough for us to, be like, so when Joe Schmo comes along.
Well, they did have that fascination with Montana that had something to do with Buddy Davis or
Yeah.
Answers in Genesis.
Buddy Davis
video.
talks about the great state of
The great
Montana.
state of Bob walked around saying, the great state of Montana. A lot. For quite some time.
Okay, so anyway, over the Montana thing.
Carrying on.
No. Oh, so we have a friend who, she's Japanese.
Yep.
And she goes by Bachin,
Bachin.
something like that.
Again,
if you're watching, let us know.
You know who you are.
But he's like Poppy or something like that. Like, I don't think his name is Japanese.
No, I don't know.
I can't remember what it is though. So
there's a lot of different cultural names. There's some just family traditions. Like we've talked to multiple people that the family tradition, like everybody was grandpa or grampy, like for generations. And by the last name or first name. And we did make a post about this, kind of a teaser earlier. And you guys had a bunch of other ideas. Like you say, the Grandpa Mark sounds weird to me. Like we're from the north. We're not into Mam and Sir all the time, but
because
if you're going to use you're going to use a title. I don't know.
We have a child coming this way.
But it's a term of endearment. I don't know. I'm confused.
Also,
Feel free to comment.
my mother called her grandmother, or grandmother and grandfather. She called them Mom and Pop.
Mom and Pop.
So grandma was known as Mom, but she also called her Mom. But she knew that, like, they knew who they were.
But her
talking
siblings
about.
called her Mom Mother.
Yeah, they did call her mother.
Call her
too.
mother a bit.
You guys stay in my room? Okay.
You're staying here.
He is allowed
We
to
have a
come
camper.
back and sleep On his bed. He's saying hi to you guys. Okay, you need to get in your bed though if you're gonna stay here. Okay. He's being really cute. Okay, so I'm gonna give some of the others. Go ahead and keep talking. I'm gonna give some of the other suggestions.
Me talk?
names.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
So yeah, there's a lot to be thought about. I don't want the video to be really, really long, but we do really enjoy engaging with people and appreciate people that have made comments and emailed us or even messaged us with prayer requests and things like that. So that's always welcome. So
Okay,
I'm killing time here.
Okay, I've got it. So I'm gonna start just listing.
Oh, and we're Christians. Did we tell you about that?
I'm gonna just list some of the names, not the exact comment, but names people have used for grandparents. Mamie and Poppy. I might not be pronouncing these right. Grandmommy.
Grandmommy, I like that.
Yeah, grandmommy.
Mummy? Grandmommy? Why do I do that?
I don't know. Grammy, Papa and Nana, Nana, Poppy and Mammy. I don't want to be Mammy. We spend too much. I don't really want to be Mammy because we spend too much time with his mom for me to be Mammy.
Yeah, to have the same
Yeah.
uncommon name in my book. Again,
And Lolly
every
and
family's
Pops.
going to have their own thing. We're not telling anybody what to do here. We're just having fun and trying to figure out what do we want to be known as for the rest of our lives.
Someone commented that they were going to be Grammy, but the grandson couldn't say it and ended up calling her Hammy, and that stuck. So Hammy and Poppy were the grandparents in that one. Oh, or Boppy, actually. Hammy and Boppy.
Hammy and Boppy.
Hammy and Boppy, which I think that's kind of cute.
We could do that. No, I don't want to do that.
Granny and Gramps, or Grandma and Grandpa. Mimi. I know someone who calls their mom Mimi. Yeah, Gigi was another one. I don't know anyone who specifically said, like this commenter says that, but I don't know someone who specifically says that. Some of them are repeats. Grandma, Grandpa. Grandma, Grandpa. That seems like that's all of them.
Okay.
So just, there was some more suggestions.
Cool.
So yeah, let us know. What do we look like? Do we look like Grandma and Grandpa? Or Grandmother and Grandfather? I don't know.
Yeah. No.
You look like old man. We
It's
could just
cute.
call you old man.
It is 9 o'clock at night. I'm having to wear my reading glasses. The lighting is terrible. But
Yeah. So
yeah.
so let us
It's
know.
been lots of fun and all, but I'm getting tired.
We're gonna do a preview, like do this as a premiere. Sorry, a premiere. We've never done a premiere, so if we do it wrong, we're sorry. But what time?
There's a baby.
Oh, there's a baby. There's this cute baby.
Much better looking than his father.
There we
Look at this
go.
young man.
He's so cute. Okay, so we're gonna do this. We hope that we see you in the chat, the premiere, whatever. And if you didn't do the premiere, please leave a comment here to tell us what we look like. What kind of grandparents do we look like? He looks like a crazy one. Crazy grandpa, that's what they'll call you. Crazy old grandpa. So anyway, get out my lawn. We'll see you guys next time on Herding Little Calves to the Glory of God.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. He's cute.